Okay, hi, this is Elliot Wave Sage. Like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. Just use this for your education and entertainment purposes only. All right, guys, we got another day of trading ahead of us, and it looks like the market really did pump off of the Fed day yesterday and AMD's earnings. But what the irony is, AMD faded the earnings report that got everyone excited. The stock of the company itself actually almost faded the whole move. Well, not the whole move, but most of it. So very odd behavior, but that's how the herd, the market, lemons and sheep follow, and they're just looking to buy. They just want to buy so bad. They need, higher prices. They want people to own. They need you to FOMO in. They want to dump their bags. They want to keep this bubble going. And so they were desperate for anything to grasp on, and they got that, and they ran with it. And I believe there's a lot of dumb money trapped in this pump. And it was a good pump for even just to trade it, but now it's like, hey, where are we going to go from here? So if this is the count, now I think what I like is this triple Q count. So guys, look here. This does not look like five waves. Okay, everyone is like, oh, this is like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, dude, how can this be wave 5? Look, there's no five waves here. It's just a three-wave move. I mean, come on. You have to have some intellectual honesty. This is not a five. This is a three-wave move. So you have to label it this way. So now we're in C. So we're actually in the final stages of the connector, and we need an impulse. Now, the thing about it is it could just extend in a bigger impulse, which is okay. So we don't know, we don't have a reversal sign yet where we get a hard dump. But could it happen? Yes, it could happen at any moment because I can easily label a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And we're in 5 right now at this 473. Now, it could pull back and become like a 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5. I mean, so it could keep going. So that's why it's like if you're trying to short it, yes, it could be a super high reward short here because you'll get all this, but it could be very high risk because you could be because this is going to be an impulse, and it could pull back, get you all excited, your short is up, and then you get your face handed to you on a 3 again as this continues to push higher. So it's not actually a very good setup to short it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it can't go much higher from here. But again, I can be wrong, and I did show you there is a bearish case where it could still push higher. But a lot of FOMO was energy and capital was spent yesterday getting us where we are today. So the SPY is the same situation. Again, this could keep pushing a little bit higher. It could pull back in a 2, 3, 4, 5 and come back up here. Technically, the X could even break this high. We've seen that before. So that's why it's like not a good short. But I'm just showing you the worst case. This is the most bearish path. So the most typical path. Now but it doesn't mean it's going to happen. I wouldn't short it here. I'm just showing you like a chart just to show you where I think it's going. The Dow Jones is really interesting because we had 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4. We made this 5th wave, but then it morphed into another connector. It's because we erased divergence. It was so much uncontrolled buy-in, so much like just this guy. I got to go long no matter what. Put my whole stack in. I'm missing the move. One, we're still under the low with all that, but two, now we have a connector, so it's actually turned into 3 waves. So it could easily, and look, we did get a pretty hard turn there, so this could easily just keep going down for the final low down here where I have it. Now, if we could turn higher and take this high out, then it could morph back into a 5-wave move. So this is a weird situation where the 5-wave reversed into, the divergence erased into a 3-wave connector. And then the IWM, same thing. It got a surge, so it turned into a connector. I can't really get 5 waves out of this, so I'm going to just, and again, a really hard rejection. So this could easily be a flat, in 4, and you just come, all the way back down, and then you find the 4 here. But we did break this high, so this actually shows you that obviously X can't be here. I don't think I would put X there. Now you do have the fifth swing, right? You could say, well, maybe I've just labeled it wrong and it is finished. Like we topped. The Russell topped yesterday, and we won't see these prices again for over years. Now I think I can't get 5 waves out of that if that's the case. I just can't. I mean, could I force it? Sure, I could say that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but then this is the shortest. It would just not, it wouldn't jive with Elliott wave theory that well to put the 5 in here. So I'm just going to leave it like this for now, this labeling. If not, if it's still in the bullish pattern and it's a 4, it could be a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we find support down around 221 and we come out in a big move higher. So very interesting, but this rejection is very like a flat. That's typical of a flat. All right. So let's go to your questions. Thomas, I appreciate the super chat. Let's jump into what you got here today and see. Hopefully everyone did okay yesterday. Today's going to be an interesting day. Today we either are going to get a massive reversal that no one is going to expect, and it's going to be very destructive, like I said, for for dumb money, because they chased yesterday hard. Complacent people put their whole stack back in the market thinking it's over. So if we get that rug pull reversal, and guys, we have a news event potential. Iran is going to retaliate against Israel. It's almost a given. If they want to cause the maximum pain, they'll do it during market hours, of course, and they'll do it at night. So you guys gotta understand there is actually a big news event today. What if it gets out of hands? What if the unthinkable happens, right? The market's gonna just it's gonna puke down tremendously. So if you put your whole stack in long, you got a big news event. I would say even if it doesn't happen today, it could happen over the weekend. So you have you have massive news event risk potential that you're playing with. So this E wave looks like it should be finishing up soon, right? At any moment. So at any moment, I would say as long as you're above 51, this is going to end at any moment, and you'll have to just decide how you want to play this here. Let's see. It's in the buy area right now. This is where E typically would end, right where we are right now, right here. So there you go. So if you want to play this wave 4, this is where to play it. You would put your stop at 51.38, and if you get lucky, you come out of this triangle, and you make some money on this 5th wave. Okay, good luck with that. It could still push a little lower. Let's see the next one you have. Let's take a look. Again, looking for that turn at any moment. And as long as we hold 40.60. So no change on that. Bitcoin's tricky right now. So it's in an area that it's again, the market's very confused with Bitcoin now. The stochastics show a couple things. The 45-minute. Let's look at the 45-minute here. What can we learn? So we don't have hidden bearish divergence just yet. We did bottom out here. We took out all these lows. We didn't take this out exactly. Here it looks like just a 1, 2, 3, 4. We're missing a 5th wave to finish the flat correction. Whether it's a flat on this leg or flat on the whole leg, it still seems like it's missing a low. So to me, I think it's going back down, and this is the area I would like to see it bottom, where you have a trade opportunity, which we've had this box for the last week, right? And my last update on the weekend, I said watch the flat. This seemed like an obvious, suckers rally trap. To me, it seemed just so obvious, but I guess to a lot of people it isn't. But I do this a lot, so it seemed the obvious trap, and it turned out to be the case. And I actually, again, if I'm playing poker with Bitcoin, I was before we even did all this mess. I was like, the trap, and then you're going to come back, and what you're going to do is you're going to actually drop it all the way back down and really scare the shit out of people and get them like, and then you hold this low, and then the market also could retest this low to really confirm like technically this is a major low because we have to build to higher prices and get more confidence in the market. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if it just collapses down into this area. I wouldn't be surprised, and that would be like cool. And then that would be even a better opportunity. This is the classical view right here. But if it's a 1-2, 1-2, then more than likely we're going right through this and we're coming back into this area I'm having circled to retest this low. And that's how I look at it. Now, some people like could say, well, it's still like this technically, but I don't like it because again, this only is 3 waves. I don't get 5 waves, and you're out of room. So I don't think that's a good count, and I don't think that's a good count. So I think you got another push lower. The question is it a 1-2, 1-2 and a big drop, or is it a 1-2, 3-4, a small drop, and we come out? That I can't tell you. But what I can say is this is kind of the setup in Bitcoin right now. Looking at other crypto too, like Link, I think is going to come back and retest this low. A lot of others. Now, Bitcoin Cash is in a wave 4 buy area, but if we fail, then you have a 3-wave move. And this could be just a connector wave, which is very bearish. So it's very bullish on the bounce, but then if we can't get this 5th wave, very bearish overall for the market. ETHE, very weak bounce. Again, looks like to me 3, 3, and again, this looks like a retest of this low. And if we break that low, very bearish. So again, I wish crypto would go to the moon, guys, but I'm just showing you the charts that I'm trading. And that's why I did not like to trade crypto in this area here. The better trade was here. Now, if we can come back down to this area, to those lower areas, then there could be new trades to take, new trades to take across the market on crypto, okay? Litecoin playing out this flat too. So, all right, I wanted to just give a little deeper update on crypto. Okay, Thomas, yeah, sure, no problem. Let's go to your next set of questions, GDX. So let's see, how's the GDX doing? How is the GDX doing? Okay, so I took a more conservative view that we're in a bigger correction in a 5-wave move. So this could be a connector wave for this 3 swings. It's hasn't ended yet, but it's pretty extended with some hidden bearish divergence there. So let's just say it ends. Let's see, where are we at? 38. So it's going to be hard to time your entry because the market isn't finished and the connector wave isn't over. So as the connector wave rises, the target rises with it. Okay, so I'm just showing you like this. So it's going to change based on how the connector wave evolves. So I don't like trading the connector waves. Guys, I don't trade connector waves typically. But when it ends, and I think it will end, then we could look for this push higher. Now, if we could push beyond 5, then I think you have to either go back to the extension that we had, where it's like a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and it's going to really launch. So, and again, I was conservative given where we are in the market, but if we take this high out, you need to start being more bullish, and that's why I don't know like if you'll get this push down, but I think it's likely you'll get another push lower. The other thing is, here you have 3 waves. Again, you could still get a flat in this as well and come back down and get, high and test. So very hard to trade this area. It's not really, there's really no clear setup that I can see. But you know, you did erase the divergence right there on this push lower. Let's look at the 4 hour cycle as well, but it didn't, you didn't really reset that cycle. It would be better to have this push lower, to have the 4 hour come to oversold. That's just me. Let's look at the daily cycle on it. So you're still within the daily cycle, but if we do push lower, the daily cycle will reset, and then that will need to reset. Again, pushing for lower prices. So you have a little bit of bearish divergence on the daily, but was so close. That's why I was a toss up between calling the really aggressive bullish count, where it's a 1 2 1 2 1 2, or this count. I went with a more conservative count and switched it because of the market, the overall like tone of the market these days. SILJ, let's take a look at that. So again, we're not, it's still, this is a possibility that I have until we take out the top. Now, if we take this peak out, then we're gonna have to relabel that, and just to me, this, it still looks like 5. So I would just label this as a 1. Yeah, if we take this peak out, then you have to say that the 2's in here. Again, and this was a run-in flat, and we would just have to we'd have to put like 1 here and relabel this leg. Very unusual structure for an A, B, C. But I mean, if you look, this looks like 5 waves up to me. You know, so I just still look at it this way until proven otherwise. But yeah, if we take this high out, that's very bullish for this sector. If it could come out and take this high out. So I'm just showing you kind of a more conservative count, but there could be a very aggressive count that I could try to label again with this if we could take this high out. And then you'll have to go with the more aggressive count. It just doesn't seem like, again, let's look at the longer term cycles. Again, the daily cycle has not reset. You have a lot of bearish divergence here. The weekly cycle wants to break so bad. The 4 hour, again, we didn't come to oversold. I think you just got to be careful that you get another swing lower. It just seems to me that because the opposite is then it's just gonna just like catapult higher, because to erase all those divergences I showed earlier. So I'm just taking a more conservative view. But there's really no trade setup in these those two. There's no good setup that I see right now. Just really sidelines if you're not already in it. Let's take a look at what we got in aluminum. You know, the Fed didn't raise rates despite, you know, the dovish talk. That's another month of the economy being, you know, squeezed, and I think it's worse than the indicators show because they're lagging indicators, and I think that's going to hit the Fed hard and hit the markets hard as that comes out soon. All right, aluminum, remember, do or die moment, right? We're at the do or die moment. It's still being saved. So again, it's place your bets. You're either going to get a massive move higher, or you're going to break this pivot at right here, and it's going to be a waterfall deflationary sell-off. I mean, you almost have to bet the opposite, right? I'm showing you a bullish case because the opposite is so bearish. Copper's been in the talk, and I've looked at copper myself, and copper does look like it's got to go lower. That's bearish for typically, you know, the economy, right? Now, should it bounce? Yeah, it's going to bounce here and there, but to me, this looks like it's got to go to 3.33. So copper is showing me that, you know, and it may even come back down to 2.9, 2.8, which is between the 4 and the 2, right? So this is like deflationary risk off economic slowdown, right, of some kind. That's what it looks like to me. And again, I could also change the label in a little bit and put that like that, put the one there, and then call this as like a three-wave move, and this is a flat. And if I call that a flat in copper, then it goes even lower. It comes down to 2.6. Oh my God, 2? Really? And actually, that's probably a better way to label it looking at it because this is just 3. So either case is pretty bearish. So I think I would have to be naive to think aluminum's going to moon. Why would aluminum moon? Why would it moon if copper looks so weak? Copper looks weak. And if copper is weak, then you know, then aluminum's going to break down. So we're going to change this view. I don't think it's going to do this anymore. So we're going to just look at this from a connector standpoint. So there's a connector right there. So we'll call that you know, some kind of ABC. I don't know, something like that. And then W, X, Y. Again, should bounce here, like oil, right? They are due a bounce here at some down. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Final target. Let's try to find some targets potentially. The most bearish target that I could see develop gets us down below 1,000, down in this area. But sometimes if the target is too deep or too you know, unrealistic, you could also see just a quick move down into this area. But you have to erase all the divergences across the board on the higher time frames. In the monthly cycle, see, look at this monthly cycle, guys. It broke. Look at that clue on the aluminum. The monthly cycle. So aluminum may be entering a bear market. So yeah, because of the monthly cycle break, I think we're going to these lower prices. So see how, well, you know, with a little more price data, a little more time, your analysis opens up. So yeah, I would say aluminum doesn't look good. Aluminum looks really bad, guys, in terms of bullishness, which probably means the economy is in a lot more trouble than people want to admit. I think the Fed's going to look back as they waited. They were too orthodox, like they said about their methodology of raising and lowering. They were just too orthodox and waiting for 2%, and they blew it. They should have probably started lowering back in March. And I think I did a video that said that they pretty much, that was the most important Fed meeting that they had, because I think that was the last time they had to try to save the economy, but they just didn't realize it yet. And they were just too orthodox in their belief of 2% CPI, when we all know the CPI isn't even measured right. They're relying on an indicator that isn't even accurate because it's so you know, distorted and perverted with, you know, addendums and modifications, and so God knows what it measures now. So good luck. All right, and let's go to your next question, anonymous. Like I said, I think Bitcoin still has some more downside coming. Like I've been saying earlier, it's playing out that count. Now we do have a relief rally here that should materialize, right? But yeah, it's going down. But look, you're going to get it. You should get a bounce. It may not be that significant, but you should come back to the 4. It should come back to like 140. You should be getting this bounce, because this is really bearish. If you get no bounce, now look at the stochastic. A huge bounce in the stochastic, the price barely moved. So that's very bearish. That means people were selling into this hard. People were selling into this bounce hard, man. This is all you got for all this energy. You need to be careful. The bounce is already over. The bounce could already be over before it even started, and it's already about to go down. So, you know, yes, to answer your question, I do believe it's going lower, and I don't believe it's going up, because look, you only have 3 waves. I mentioned this on our update. Because of that, you weren't able to make the 5th wave. It became a connector, and then as soon as this retraced too deep, somewhere around here, it pretty much opened up the door for this. So yeah, it's going down. It's the ship is going down. I mean, if you're hoping it's going back up, I don't think so. I just don't see it. This bounce should have been stronger. Your clue is this RSI, massive hidden by like look at where the RSI peak is here. The price was up here, so you have massive hidden bearish divergence in this RSI on the 45-minute, massive. So this is very bad. People are they want out now. So the bounce. I mean, looks like it's dead already. But yeah, could it go a little bit higher? Maybe, but I wouldn't count on it. Hut. Again, it's do or die for Hut for this fifth wave. It's still okay. It still looks okay to me for a 4, but you're basically betting on going against the grain, right? But there's no guarantee of the 5th. I always keep saying that. Once you have the 3, there is never a guarantee for the 5th in a corrective structure. This is just a corrective structure. So because of that, if you keep pushing lower, there's no 5. Then it could actually come all the way back down and take these lows out. So you got to understand. So a lot of traders, the way they trade these moves is once they get that third wave, they get out. They get out because I don't try to get this last little bit in 5. I don't care because it's too much to risk because you could lose all your profit if you got in back here, which we had buys here and here and here. The safer bet is to just ring the cash register after you could have held it up here, but once you got down to this area, you could lose all your profit, and then you never get the 5. And but if we get the 5, this is the area that needs to happen. You really can't. If the 14 breaks, a 5 breaks, it's probably a corrective move, and there's not going to be a 5. And it's going to just meander all the way back down to these lower areas. Now, it could still come back higher one day, right, as a bigger correction, right? It could do that, and then it could come back down and do that, and then later in the future, come back up and do that. Like, it could do all that. So just so you know. But it's better to get the 5th wave. No 5th wave, no impulse, no bull market, no bull cycle. It's just a corrective bounce is all it is. And it really should have finished maybe around here. So it's getting extended, but maybe we could pull out of it. So it's tough. This is very tough to decipher if it's going to make this 5th wave or not. It looks like an impulse down, just like the other one. It doesn't even look like 3. It looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're just getting a bigger, right? And maybe you could get back up to 1673 if you're lucky, but it doesn't even look like 3 swings anymore. That's why I think I needed it to hold this level here, because you made a 5th swing with bullish divergence. So you've got an impulse. So this isn't even probably the right way to label it. So I think I have to relabel this way as an ABC. I think you got to label it that way. And then you just put W here, and now you're in some kind of X. And you're down in 5 here. So again, you have your A. Maybe you could go a little bit higher. Hopefully you can, and then you'll have a C, and then a bigger bounce. And we'll just kind of label this X wave as this plays out. But I think that's the way you have to change the label in based on the data that I'm seeing. Yeah, let's take a look at AG. Let's go to the next one. Let's see here. AG, let's take a look. Market's about to open. Let's see how we do. AG. So looks like you got a connector wave B that took a shape as a flat. Looking at it, looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like B could end at any moment. Looks like that's what happened. It ended, and you're pushing down. So we're still looking for this area to shade it here. So that's what I'd be looking for. Push lower down into this area. Um, Now, when it pushes down, you need to take this divergence out here, this peak. If you don't, it's going to go lower. So it can actually go deeper than what I show here. So just so you keep that in mind. But really, the ultimate stop area is 418. So as it looks like we're opening and dumping. So we really really need this divergence to really come down. If we could do that in this area, then you have a chance at finding a low. Um, we'll just have to wait and see. But again, you could put your stop here at 496, but really the best place to put your stop is 417. So it's still a lot of risk here, even if you're trying to buy it here. But this is just the technical area that typically it would find support. Okay. And hopefully, I warned you about this earlier, because I think we had this chart. You didn't get trapped in this today, this rug pull. This was, again, destroy bears, destroy bulls. Now we move. The market loves this pattern, guys, this up and down and up. They love connector waves. I've seen in the last couple years, the market does more and more of these, like so much now. I think that's the vehicle of choice. All right, let's take a look how the market's opening. And like I said, if we can take this high back out on the Dow, then you could say it's an impulse, and then you could put the 4 in again. Just to keep an open mind about that. Let's take a look here at the SPY. So again, you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now here's a dip here. Now if we take this peak out at 553.80. Again, we have to watch the divergence play out. Now, if we still keep divergence, it would probably still be a wave 5 here. But again, I keep mentioning the X can extend, so it's not a guaranteed like, oh my God, I'm going to short everything. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. The Russell weak. How's the SQQ? It's in a buy area, finding support. Look at this big gap again. So again, it's very tempting to buy the SQQ here and play this wild. I mean, imagine if you can nail that, but I just need to be more disciplined. I'm gonna if I don't want to chase. This isn't a good setup because we've seen time and time again that it just could push deeper, and I'm not gonna sucker into that. So that's why I'm not. There's really no good setup to trade the indices right now that I see. It would be more sidelines action. Okay, Thomas, appreciate the big super chat. Yeah, super chats. Let's go jump into the ones you have. SIL. Let's take a look here. SIL. Requested SIL. Oh, that would be in the commodity play. Commodities it looks like they're getting hit hard. Oh man, look at AG. Please tell me I kept you out of that with my chart. What's going on here? Looks like my count messed up. Yeah, so we're gonna go with a more conservative count on the miners, guys. We're not gonna be like a perma bull because just the conditions in the market right now are a little treacherous. So we're just gonna be conservative with it for now. So again, most likely this is a 1-2, right? It's a 1-2, 1-2. This is super conservative to put the 4 here, but we'll just be conservative because I think you don't want to be a perma bull. So we're looking for one more swing lower. Could be a great now this has a really good setup opportunity. If we can get this push lower to 30, 29.5, this would be a good setup right here. If we can get that either in 4, or if you're super lucky you get a wave 2, and then you can come out of this. It's just a nice clean setup. If we can get this here, either 5 or 1-2, 1-2, and then you're out. Um, MSTR, MSTR is one that I said that that's why there's mixed messages in crypto, guys, because some of these stocks don't look like they've ended their correction, and MSTR is one of them. Uh, and I do have MSTR up in three, and it needs to take this high back out to negate this chart at 1865, and it's struggling to do that. The reason I have another swing lower is we have 5 down. Very clear 5 down to me, and this is very clear 5 up. So not a flat. I think it's got another swing coming. Now the idea was when Bitcoin hit 85,000, it peaked in wave 5, Y peaked in MicroStrategy, and then when Bitcoin pulls back, then you get C across the market. That's the idea. So maybe you can get a little more upside in Y. Again, maybe it could actually take one more swing higher, 1, 2, 3, and you know, make like a flat correction of some kind. But I think I think it could be over at any moment. Just looking at the wave structure here. But do what's best for you. I don't like trading it because of this fifth wave. I don't like trading MicroStrategy because of the 5 waves down. We saw this in AMD, guys, and you remember what happened with AMD. We were hoping for more, and it didn't happen. It finally broke down. So you got these 5 waves down, just like you had in AMD. So that implies that you need another swing lower. That's how I look at that. And then let's go to this OBX. OBX. All right, this one's pretty bullish. Not sure. Was that one you want it? Total return. Okay, I have no idea what this is measuring, but we'll chart it nevertheless. So just looking at the looks like a 1, 2 here, 3, 4, 5 up of some kind. Bearish divergence. 1, 2. So something like this is what I'm thinking. So you're chasing the last little bit. That's your 3, yep, in your leg. So you're like chasing that last little bit. Now we could still be in 4, right? This is pretty shallow. So like most of the market, right? We have 4s all over the market. So actually this looks like almost 5 up off that low. So chances are that 4 is done here. And look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, technically I could say it's finished, but it seems like pretty short. So maybe 5 can extend a little bit. But again, this is picking up pennies in front of a steamroller. I mean, it's out of time. It's like game over. Like technically I can't make it go any bigger unless you get a massive surge to race divergence. You would have to get a massive surge higher to race divergence to negate this count. And like I said, 5 could keep going a little bit, you know. So and then it'll correct, and typically you lose the whole way of 5. So whatever. Again, I don't know what this represents, but this looks like some kind of grand supercycle chart, and then it comes all the way back down, something like that. Okay, thanks for the super chat. LTCN broke down. I think it broke its pivot. So yeah, LTCN's going down. The ship is sinking, you know, and it's just going to keep going lower now. It broke its pivot. We have a corrective structure. You know, it never will be a straight line down. It looks like to me, you've got 3 down here with a connector, and you need. So it won't, you know, it won't go down in a straight line, but it will go down in 3 waves. So again, look at the big picture. This leg, look how long this leg took. That's what's got to happen here. So I got a lot of time and bearish price action to play out. So yeah, I think it's likely uh, that it will see. Let's see here. That's too bullish. I think it's likely because like it's not going to zero. I don't think. I think the next area of major support would be right around $5, which is probably the right premium level for where it should be. So I'll be thinking like $5, but it's gonna be just as violent as this. It's gonna do the same. It's just not gonna just drop down. It's gonna have a lot of violent price action as it grinds lower. So I would be looking to short this on three-wave pops. Like if you could get a three-wave bounce now, you get something like this with a clear three waves. You could try to short that. But here is just guess it, right? I wouldn't go, oh, I'm going to go short it. No, you don't do that. That's not how you trade. You wait for the bounce, and then you can short that in a nice three wave. But this is clearly the market has made its decision on these grayscale. A lot of this grayscale stuff's bleeding out. The premium's bleeding out. GSOL, gas oil futures. Oh, that's a new one. That's a new one for me. No data. Let me look for some. Maybe I typed it in wrong. GSOL. Oh, Solana Trust. Okay, the Solana Trust. Again, let's take a look at it. That's definitely one right there. So we'll just kind of try to label this and see if we can make sense of what we have in front of us. So I only get 3 swings off this high. I only get 3. All right, so it's a corrective move, so we're going to just have to do it in threes, a set of threes. And then this looks like a connector wave, like an X wave connect. That looks like a connector wave of an X wave. Yeah, it's over here. All right, so it looks pretty bullish to me. And then this looks like a connector wave. There. And ta-da, boom. That's right. So there's your label. So that's how I label it. So I think you'll get a push higher for another leg higher. I guess people, again, remember, guys, if you're buying this, remember the premium. Remember the premium. Premium is people just throwing caution to the wind, or they don't understand. They think, oh, I'm buying Solana for $400 or whatever. You just got to be careful chasing stuff with a high premium. That looks like 3. It's definitely moving corrective. It's moving in threes. I'm just playing this out. Something like that for the final high. So I think that's what I'd be looking for. This low here has to hold right there. So that's the stop loss right there. So it's a big stop loss now because it's come. So as long as you're above that level, it should push higher. But once you break it, then this was just a connector wave, and this was still an X, and it'll just go lower. So that's how I would trade this. But there's no real trade setup here. It's just I'm just showing a chart that where I think it's playing out based on this chart, and I need to add this on my list of grayscale products that I keep. All right, cool. Link. Oh, grayscale. I am charting that. So I have 3 and then 3 and then we broke that low, and now we're coming down in 3, and the target is $5.58, and I'm not, or somewhere very, in the single digits at least. And I've had this chart since here, so I'm not gonna FOMO on it. I'm just gonna wait. Again, this is super premium. This is like saying I'm buying Link for like 60, $5 a Link coin. But what's Link trading? It's trading like $12. So what? You're paying like almost a 300 to 400% premium. I'm not going to pay that. I'm not going to pay that kind of premium. So it's just way over. It's way out of whack. The premium's way out of whack. Now this is like saying I'm buying Link at $6, $7. Okay, now that's under premium. So it probably won't go that low. So, but if I could get Link, let's say I can get G-Link where the premium is 1-to-1 again, cool, I'll do that. Like Link's trading $12, $13. All right. So if I can get G-Link at $15, yeah, maybe that's a better deal. 12, somewhere around there. But 60, I'm not paying $60 for this. But see, a lot of people don't know the premium. They're just like, I want to buy Link, and they buy it, but they don't understand what they're buying actually. But anyway, so I think this is the chart on Link. Oh, okay, yeah, AG guys, I already checked AG, and actually we forecasted AG right. We had the buy area, and we prevented people from getting destroyed. If you were listening to my show, look, it hit the buy area exactly today, and look, it's finding support. Ironically, we could be on the channel. It could be bottoming right now. I may need to stop and buy it real quick. I won't, because we haven't took the divergence out. So you can see how I actively trade. All right, we're in a buy area. I won't buy it yet, even though it's here. I need this down a little more. I need to take this divergence out on the 4-hour. So I'm not buying it here. Now, if we could take that out more, what the hell? Give it a shot. Give it a shot. Now, yeah, if I think it's just a little risky. I think yeah, maybe it could find bounce around, but then it should go. But whoever asked me for this originally, hopefully I saved them some pain today, right? That's why it's like, be patient, right? Be patient. Wait, we gotta wait for these things to play out. What's going on in EXK? Let's see. What's that one doing? EXK, and we don't have that. Oh, I'm gonna go to my requested stocks. EXK. Deep in the buy area again, would have saved you from entering too soon. Nice erasure. So yeah, this is the time to pull the trigger if you want to buy it. I would probably put your stop though at 339, but now it's up to you. I don't know per se. I guess it's a silver miner. See, not 45. You took the divergence out. So this one is a better opportunity to buy. It has a better setup right now to buy this wave 2 price action. And you would have to hold 341. You have to hold 341. If it can't hold that, then it's just a corrective structure, an ABC, and then it implies it's just going to come back and go to essentially go to like below this 140. That's pretty bad. So technically, it really needs to hold up above 340, in my opinion. So that's what you do. You buy it at 387. You put your stop at 342, and maybe Maybe you get lucky. Okay. And again, I wonder what happened with the silver miners today. I guess they just didn't make a lot of money, man. Cool. No anonymous. Thanks again. Yeah, I just like to squeeze these pre-market ones in when I can. I have a lot of time on my hands to do that. Next several weeks before I move in September, that'll be kind of tough, and then I'll be back. So I just got the time. I want to do it, and again, I'm always trying to help. Yeah. Oh, what's going on with silver? Did silver, like the metal, take a dump while we were like on the live stream or something? Oh, no, no, it's not too bad. It's okay. Yeah, it's. I would have wished we could have took that peak out here because that would have given us the five. That would have given us five off the low. Damn. Let's see on the 4 hour. See, we need uh we need to be careful. This is up in three. This is a tight. I call it tight three. It's a tight wave three. So we need another push higher to really give us, okay, this is the low, because if it's not, this is a connector for this whole thing, which means if this low breaks, it will go down to at least to these areas, and this is the unthinkable, right? Levels. This is where silver becomes that flat. I told you that's like a historic, like like you have three and three, and then it just then you're looking at a flat, and then it's just going to grind all the way down, and that's a super deflationary. I mean, we just saw aluminum and copper, so I mean, would I be surprised if that failed like that? Probably not, um, but right now there's nothing to worry about. I think that's your stop right there, and so you just trade against that level. But it does only look like three up here, three up. So you need one more push higher. Now that if we could have got that wick above, I could have talked myself into five waves here, but I don't. So I think it's just kind of got to watch it. So you think it's just something you want to keep an eye on. How's the dollar index doing? It's going higher. So if the dollar index wants to make this push higher, like I have here, in another three wave push, then silver, then everything should be pulling back again. If this happens now, if it's this, then there's nothing to worry about. This is about to end, and you're about to have boom, a big move. So I unfortunately I can't. I'm not a fortune teller. I can't predict the future, but I'm just showing you. I mean, look how long this wave two took. So maybe this is about half the time. This almost seems a little too quick, right? But this would be just about right for this degree. Just seems like I wouldn't be surprised to see another push higher. Okay, I'm just going to scan through comments real quick and then wrap it up. Yeah, let's look at some of the semiconductors real quick. We'll go through all the semiconductors and see what they look like. And ARM, I'll touch on ARM if I can, if I find it. Okay, Amcor, how's that doing? We got a bounce. I still wouldn't touch Amcor until it's down into this area. AMD, real weak, massive. I mean, you know, you may not even get this move higher anymore. All right, let's keep going. Micron is in an area of the bounce. Again, it should bounce. Now, it could make a fifth wave down and then become an A and come back down to 96. And then, but again, it would be shocking to me if this is a 1-2-1-2 and it just like totally pukes. Like that would be not expect. Like I'm expecting a bigger bounce from Micron. I mean, come on, like it should bounce more. I mean, it should bounce more. ARM. ARM is in a buy area right now that I had for a flat, and it looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right here, right now, perfect. This RSI is above this. We have a new high of 3 and a 3. In fact, while we're on the call, I think this is one that I want to buy right now. So I'm going to buy this right now, but I'm going to keep a stop loss probably around 115 and try to play this wave 3 out. Again, I don't know why ARM would be more bullish than it, but I just play these charts, guys. I don't try to like connect news events and stories and shit like that. I mean, if anything, I can get a relief rally bounce in ARM, and then I can look to dump it if I don't like how it's looking. So we'll just play it by ear. So I want to pick some of this up right now. Um, so I just made a buy for ARM here as it's rallying while we're on the call. Yeah. Okay. So cool. So I like this one. I like this one and again, why would it bounce and the others? I don't care. I only trade the chart because if you look at this chart, guys, to me it looks like you had your first move, you had three down, you had a big impulse, and then you just did a flat correction, and it just you see how it just seems likely to me that. And again, this looks like not corrective. You see how the divergence here. There's your three. There's your five. So it's not a corrective bounce in my opinion. So I like to buy this for potential wave three. Maybe Apple. I don't know. Do they have anything to do with Apple? Like could Apple's earnings pump it? I don't know. Um, Ultimately, I would be looking for prices to get to. Let's see on ARM. Whoops, where were we at? Somewhere around like 250, $289 is the target at some point. Um, so yeah, like I said, we'll keep an eye on it. It looks like to me you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and see that's why I didn't buy it yesterday because I knew it had one more push lower in five, and I think we're getting that right now. It could still go actually to one, just so you guys know, it could go to 125 into this area. Um, but yeah, I would probably put the stop loss around 115 because then it could be a bigger flat, which I don't want to mess around with, like we got with CrowdStrike. So we don't want it. We don't want a CrowdStrike situation to develop. So it's like a 1-2-1-2. That's what I'm thinking. All right, Dell. How's Dell doing? So Dell hit this area now. So Dell hit the wave 4 cluster. We went very deep. This the Dell one, we need to keep an open mind that it may not bounce and fail. It may be actually a low. So let's look at some RSIs and see. The daily definitely reset the daily cycle for sure. The 4 hour. Now the weekly is not reset. So and then I think on the grand super cycle we're correcting. So uh, more than likely, looking at it one more time, it seems likely that we'll get a bounce and a failure. We should get a bounce. So I think we will bounce here, and then we should fail at some point. Again, I don't know how the bounce will play out, but I think that's probably likely here. Okay. Let's go back and go to your questions. So that's kind of the semi overview right now. Oh, and we looked at Nvidia yet. Let's look at Nvidia. Um, Again, looking for possible rejection in this area here for one more low. Oops, I gotta change this up. One more low. And again, the X could still push higher, but something like that. Okay, guys? Let's see here. I'll look at end phase. We haven't looked at end phase in a while, that sector, and take a look at what's going on. Uh, Basically backing into the low. So we know at some point it's coming out of this. Now, because if we break this pivot at 73, it's going to be like a go to zero. Like it's basically do or die. So you have to assume the low is coming. You have to assume the low is coming. So it's do or die for end phase, but that's how I look at that one, guys. Caravana, let's see. Caravana, let's take a look at that. I think we had that in a wave 4 as well. We've done really well okay, so we got the 4 and now we're in 5. Or are we still in 4? Let's look at the degree. So this wave 2 took end of July to beginning of November, so that would be August, September, let's see, August, September, October, about 3 months. This was the middle of July, so my guess is we're still in 4, and it's gonna do some kind of flat type move. Okay, but technically, I could force it, but as you can see, it's coming to the end of this whole cycle is almost over. Even if we don't get this 5, I could put the 4 there and put the 5 there. I just think it's kind of premature to do that. Let's see where would the flat end typically. If it was a flat, it would end right where it got rejected, 153.80. That's exactly where it hit, and we'll see if it can overcome that level or not. Yeah, I showed NVIDIA just a minute ago. All right, let's look at the market itself. I haven't seen how the indices. Oh, yikes! Uh-oh, what's going on here? Oh no, no shit. Is the Dow gonna rug pull for this final push? How's SPY doing? A little bit of euphoria. Yeah, so it's okay. You want 5 up. You want this to be 5 up because that's in a flat. That's what this is. In ABC, the C leg has to be in 5. So if it's 5, that's even better. Now we'll want to probably look at the 15-minute time frame. Yeah, look at that. So this is just an extended fifth, and then you need to look at this leg and do you see 5 up? Maybe it can make one more push higher. It looks like only 3. Right? 1, 2, 1, 2. So yeah, I bet it's like running on fumes. But it seems like to me, it could easily be like a 1, 2, right? You get 5, you get 3, you get 4, you get something like that. That could be the short-term price action you see, something like that. It doesn't have to do that, but the shorter cycles is so hard to get. That's why I don't like to play with those short-term cycles, but that just gives you an idea. Of course, if it can erase divergence, that changes everything. How's technology? Same thing. Technology, you want a 5. Now technology, you're still showing that divergence, but again, looks like here you've got like a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like it still needs to push a little bit higher and maintain this bearish divergence while it does it. Again, this is just the last little bit of people that are piling in. Again, IWM looks weak, looks like a flat to me, starting to take shape. Okay, we'll see how the day goes. A lot can go wrong. Let's look at the VIX. That's always a good clue. Yeah, it's holding up. It hasn't really moved that much, I guess. 10-year, ooh, going lower. Going lower. Not a surprise. We had look, short rates, and now we're getting paid. You see how that works? Okay, I'm wrapping it up, guys. Thanks again for everything. Good luck trading, and talk to you later. Yeah, if AMC popped open, that's good. If that